Hi everyone, this is Dawn with Shall We Stamp. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a gift bag with a hanging card that coordinates using two pieces of 12 by 12 designer series paper. So here's one that I did. Now this is from the Toil Christmas set out of the 2019 holiday catalog, and one side is red and one side is green. So I made this bag and I'm going to show you how to make this. It's a pretty good sized bag. It will hold quite a bit in here. So I wanted to show you that one. And then this is one that I had made several years ago using one of our other holiday papers and stamp sets. So I just want to show you that. Isn't that gorgeous how you can make your card coordinate, and then it's got a little hanging thing so that when you give your gift bag, it's all together. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, the measurements that we're going to do, now I went ahead and scored my paper, and then I'm going to give you the measurements. On the first 12 by 12, on the full 12 by 12, you're going to score 3 sides at 3 inches, and then you're going to do one side at 1 inch. Now the 1 inch side, you want that to be whatever the top of your bag is. So whatever paper. Now if you have a pattern that's a specific pattern that has a certain directional meaning to it, then you may want to rethink that about using it, because I'll show you why. And this bag that I made, it's got this holiday paper with the horses and the little snow houses and the trees and all that. But when I fold my card, see how it's upside down? So just be aware that if that happens, that's how your card's going to look. So be mindful of that. So I'm trying to pick patterns, no matter which direction they go in. So this is my 1 inch, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and fold over my 3 inch score lines. And I normally just kind of feel for them so I can get them down. So I just wanted to go ahead and do that to save a little bit of time rather than trying to bring in my scoring board. And then we're just going to fold this over to our 3 inch marks and use our bone fold to get a good burnished edge. And then this will be the last side that we're going to do. Now, because this is a bigger bag, I'm using SNAIL just for time's sake, but you may want to go ahead and consider using either your liquid glue or tear and tape, something that's going to be a little bit stronger. Now so you have to decide which part of the bag. I want this to be the outside of my bag, okay? So I'm going to take my 1 inch strip and I'm going to fold it over. So what it's going to do, it's going to show this with the main part of our bag. So I'm going to go ahead and attach adhesive on this front right here. Let me just put a little bit more. And I'm going to fold this down. Now I'm going to go back and fold up the score lines here and just give them a good press. And you can use your bone folder to do that as well, because we're going to be folding this, and it's going to have, it's got 2 pieces of paper, so you want to be a little bit mindful of that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut our 2 flaps at the bottom, because this is going to create the bottom of our box. So I'm going to go ahead and take my paper snips, and I'm just going to snip up to that 3 inch score line. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get it to where your flaps are going to fold in, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So how this is going to work is we're going to fold this over like that, and then we just want to make sure we get our corners lined up. So that's how we're going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and put my SNAIL adhesive on these flaps here. That way we'll go ahead and get this part of the bag done, and then I'll give you the instructions on the other one. So I put my adhesive here, and then I'm just going to fold it in. Just make sure that my ends are butted up and squared off, and then just press. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side as well. So we're just going to attach, put some adhesive, and you don't have to put a lot on this. I mean, obviously it's going to hold, but all right, so I'm going to fold that one in again, if you can see, and fold it in, and there's the beginning of our one side of the box. And then we have our outside flipped over to show the inside of our bag, if you can see that. All right, now the second piece, you're going to cut your 12 by 12 down to 8 inches by 12. Now you want to keep your by 12 piece of designer series paper. So we're going to use this piece. This is what we're going to use to make our card. So on this piece, which is 4 by 12, you want to cut it down to 4 by 10.5, and then you're going to fold it in half, which is 5 1/4. Okay? So that's going to be our card, and I'll go over that with you once we get done doing this. It's 8 by 12. So on this piece, you want to score 3 sides at 1 inch and 1 side at 3 inches. Now, the 3-inch one is going to be the bottom of your bag, so you need to determine which side of your paper and which end you want to be the bottom. So the bottom will be the 3 inches, all right? So we're going to fold that up and burnish, and then we're going to go ahead and fold in our 1-inch sides. All right, so we're going to fold these in and burnish these. And then our top one, we're going to do the same thing like we did on the other bag, is we are going to fold that one back so it coordinates, okay? So, and make sure, because I did this the other night, I had my paper going the wrong direction. I had this side on the outside, so make sure you got your 2 pieces, what you want on the outside before you do that. So I'm flipping it over because this is going to be the outside of my bag, and I'm going to fold the top 1 inch over so it shows that inside piece again. All right, and then I want to go ahead and put some adhesive on this. So let's go ahead and do that. And again, remember, you want to probably use a little bit stronger adhesive. So we're just going to fold that down, and then we're going to fold that in and burnish it because it just makes the bag a lot. All right, and that. Okay, now, so the next thing we're going to do, we've got our 3-inch piece and these 1-inch sides. Well, we don't want these little guys, so we're just going to get rid of them. So just cut off the bottom 1-inch flap. You can keep them and fold them in, but I just don't, there's no reason to do that, so we're just going to get rid of them. So just snip those little guys away. Whoops, he went flying off. I guess he knew. All right, so we're going to go ahead and snip this all the way up to the 3-inch mark and cut over here and get rid of this. Now, this is an easy bag to make, but this is the part that you have to be very careful of because it can be a little tricky. And I'll show you the paper that I used. I should have showed you that first, but anyways, the paper, let me tell you that right now, and then we'll get started. Let me tell you at the end, and then that way we'll keep focused on making our bag. Okay, you're going to put adhesive on these 1-inch strips and on this piece here. Once we do that, then we want to slide this one inside the other half of the box. What I recommend is you do it on like sideways, because I'm going to put adhesive here all over. The first thing I want to do is I want to line up this side so I can get it so it's flush, and then I'm going to push down for my bottom, and then I'm going to come back and push this down so I have my bag flat. Okay, so before we do anything, we want to put adhesive on our flaps, and this is where you're going to have to just, you know, be careful, because you don't want your flaps to stick until you're ready for them to stick. Does that make sense? All right, and then we're going to put some adhesive. You don't really need it towards the back, but you know, you can do that if you want. And I'll put one down the center. I put it all along the edges. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to fold this in, but I'm not going to put it down. So I'm just going to lay it inside here. You want to get your other one kind of pushed up a little bit so that it stays. All right, so we just want to line this up, get your edges lined up. All right, so we want to get them to where they're flush. And once we have it that way, then we're going to push down. Okay, so we're going to push that down. Now, while I'm holding this, I'm going to go ahead and push my bottom. All right, and then I'm going to come back and burnish these in just a minute. Now, this one, this side here, see how it's stuck a little bit, but that's okay. I just want, if you all can see this, I'm just going to push in, hold up, get my bag so it's flush. There we go. And then I'm just going to run my fingers there. Now I can go inside with my hand. I'll come back with my bone folder in just a minute. And then I'm running my hand on the inside of the bag. Now I want to run in because I want to get my bottom to adhere to the inside piece, okay? Now I'm going to take my bone folder just to give it some good pressure. So it's a really easy bag to make, and we just want to make sure we've got our adhered, adhered down here, okay? There's our bag. Okay, now these are where we made our backs, right? So this is going to be the front of my bag. Now you can, I'm not going to put a handle on this, but you can easily just push your fingers in on the side and you can squeeze this. And if you want to make a bag, you can easily do that. But I'm leaving mine open. So now I have my bag. See how big it is? I mean, that is a good size bag. Look at that. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take, now I am using, let me tell you the paper I'm using. This is from the 2019 holiday catalog with Stampin' Up, and I'm using the Come Together Designer Series paper. This is some beautiful, beautiful paper, and it's got colors that are not your typical fall colors, and it's really, really beautiful. So look at this. These are pumpkins that are in macaron. It's mint macaron, and isn't that beautiful paper? And then you've got your pretty peacock on one side, and but you can pull this up in the catalog and take a look at it. Isn't that beautiful? Look at these. These are it's early espresso, the pretty peacock. It's just absolutely stunning. And then we've got some Cajun craze, or absolutely stunning colors. So we're gonna make it's gonna be more of a like a Thanksgiving or a gratitude bag with this paper. Okay, and we're using the coordinating, move that out of the way. We're using the stamp set and the framelit dies that coordinate. So this is the Gather Together and our Gather Together leaves. All right, so there's that. We're going to use the Season of Thanks, and then I've cut out several of these leaf to give it just the embossed image. These emboss, these cut. All right, and you can purchase this as a bundle and you receive a 10% discount. Okay, now we're going to make our card and we're going to make our hanger. I've done pretty much most of this just for time's sake purposes. Now, you will need a piece of whatever you want your coordinating cardstock. This is Pretty Peacock, and this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is going to be the base. And then we need a 2 1/4 by 5 1/4 piece. And we're going to use our classic label punch, and this is going to be our hanger. So what you want to do is take your paper and push it all the way into your punch and line, see how that's there? Just line it up so it's barely out of the edge or right on the edge of your punch. Make sure it's pushed all the way down into the punch where this way. And then you just want to punch and then slide it across and make sure it's pulled down again all the way. You want to leave a little bit of a gap so you'll see a continuous slide there. And then this one, we're going to make sure it's pushed all the way down. Let me get my left hand here. All right, so we want to make sure it's there, and we just want to leave a little bit of an edge on the side. And then that's going to be our hanging portion of our card. And what we're going to do is take adhesive. Get my craft sheet. Make sure you have one of these silicone craft sheets in your craft room because you definitely want one of these. Keeps your adhesive from sticking to your paper. All right, so all we're going to do is put adhesive on this little strip right here because that's the only piece that we want to secure. So I'm going to take my front of my bag and I'm going to center this on my bag right underneath the flap and just press it down, and then that's how we're going to hang our card. Okay? All right, so now we're going to take our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 base. I've cut my DSP down to 10 1/2, which means it's now 5 1/4, right? So it's going to leave my little edge. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this. Now, I did not bring a piece of Very Vanilla, but I would put a piece of Very Vanilla right here so that you can make write your message. I didn't bring one for the video, but that's what you'll put on the inside, and that piece can be 4 by 5 1/4, or you could do 3 3 3/4 by 5, so whichever you prefer. So we're going to attach this to our card base. So I'm just going to put adhesive on all 4 sides, and we're going to place that down, and then this should leave us a little bit of a border, which it does. And then I'm going to come in with the Season of Thanks stamped image that the sentiment I put on here, and then I stamped the figs. I guess it's maybe what is that, wheat, in early espresso, and then I cut out and embossed with those dies. I did Mary Merlot, Pear Pizzazz, and Cajun Craze, which are the colors that coordinate, and I'm popping this up on dimensionals. Now the white is this is 2 1/4 square, and the base of Pretty Peacock is 2 1/2 by 2 1/2, so 2 1/2 square, and the white is 2 1/4. And then I just put dimensionals on the back, so you want to go ahead and remove those. And if you haven't watched a video of mine before, push your fingernail or thumbnail down in the center, and it makes the backings come off a lot easier. That's your tip for the day. All right, so we're going to take that and we're going to put that right there on our card. And then we're going to take this. Now, of course, I'm going to put my white sheet or vanilla. I'm going to slide it in here. And there's our gift bag. Isn't that gorgeous? Who would not love to receive this bag? The one thing I really like about this is that you don't have to worry about your card getting lost from your gift. So it's attached right there. Isn't that beautiful? So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at dawn@shallwestamp.com. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to have your business. If you need a catalog, let me know as well. I'll be more than happy to send you one. And again, we use the Gather Together stamp set and coordinating dies come together, I should say, and the paper. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. And remember, lots of uses for this bag. You can make birthday bags, holiday, this one. You could make Halloween. You could do Christmas, anniversaries, babies, whatever reason that you need a gift bag, this is what you can make. There you go again. Thanks so much for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube video so that you can stay on top of my videos. And if you will, go to my Facebook page at Shall We Stamp 1. It's Shall We Stamp with the number 1, and like my Facebook page as well. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again in another video.